Welcome, everybody. On behalf of the University of Maine Alumni Association and the Career Center, I'd like to thank you all for coming to the Pros Who Know event. I'd also like to express my sincere thanks to all of our alumni panelists for joining us today and sharing their time with us. The first question is, what do you wish you had known before beginning your career search?
The number one thing I wish I had known is how important it is to know who you're interviewing with, do some basic homework before you go in, shake hands, look somebody in the eye, and tell them why you can make a difference.
I would say the biggest thing for interviewing that I wish I would have known is telling specific stories to what you've done in the past. I've had a chance to interview others sitting across the table from me, and now the ones that have specific stories I remember. A lot of people will go into interviews and everyone will say, I'm a hard worker, I'm dedicated, I'm loyal. But if you have a specific story about a time that you went above and beyond, people remember that.
For recruiters, what is your biggest pet peeve with cover letters or resumes?
So as far as the resume go, we like to see them to be one page. I know you guys have a lot of experience and so forth, but when they're way more than one page, it's, we look at resumes each day, so the one page is pretty key.
I know I'm a little anal-retentive because I'd review resumes with a highlighter, and after 3 mistakes, I'd skip. And so when you are reviewing resumes in a high-volume position where you might have 100 applicants or 200 applicants, it depends on the job.
How difficult was it to get a job after graduation? And the second part to that is, did an internship play an important role in that?
I actually graduated in December, so I was prepared to not find a teaching position, but I would say that my student teaching internship was the reason why I found a long-term sub position, which turned into a teaching position. So I would say, during your internship, if you have the opportunity to have a required internship for your degree, is to take advantage of that too, and offer your support in every area, not just the one you're assigned in. Make yourself stand out, network, because my letters of recommendation are what got me to where I am today.
When you're networking, I always did it the old-fashioned way, and I still do it. When I'm standing in line at Starbucks, I talk to people in front of me and behind me, ask them what they do. It's probably a little obnoxious with it, but I do like to find out what people do. So don't ever be afraid to put yourself out, even if you get humiliated. You're at the airport, you're in wherever, you're at a sporting event, talk to people and find out what they do, and you'd be surprised how that'll open doors for you.
What advice do you have to students who take a job that is kind of out of state or out of their area and they're relocating? Do you have any tips or things that you wish you had known before you had done that?
I think a lot of it has to do with where you're comfortable. If your family's in a certain area and you really don't want to leave that area, then you should probably tailor your job search to companies that are hiring where you want to live. But it also helps, and I'm pretty sure employers love to see that you're flexible. If you're willing to make a change for the company, that certainly tells them a lot. So really depending on your situation and what you think's best for you is what you should make that decision based off.
I worked in Boston for my first year work in the Boston Public Schools as a contractor, as a speech therapist. I wish I went to the interview, but I wish I had spent more time trying to get the feel of the schools. I think if you're going to go out of state, I think environment and your work environment is really important. And if you are able to get a tour of a facility, talk to somebody who works there, you can get a better idea about just the feel of it. Because you can love your job, but if the environment isn't the right environment for you, it can make for a pretty miserable situation.
So again, thank you all for being here. We'll see some of them at the career fair also next week. And I just want to reiterate, if you don't own a business, if you're not your own boss, you're basically an intern everywhere you go. You're always developing skills, and we just had a great session where we were discussing this at the Career Center. And so think of everything you're doing as an internship. It might not be called an internship, but any practical experience where you're developing relevant and transferable skills is very valuable for you to be able to write on your resume, talk about in an interview, and again, be confident about. So get behind what you've done, what you know you're good at, and start to build upon those strengths and improve. And I would like to just encourage you to continue to be a sponge, network with folks, make connections and build relationships, and ask questions, follow up, follow through, thank people. It's really important. So go forth and conquer.